I currently hold a master's in accounting and taxation from American International College. And I also have my own business where I assist people with their budgets, as well as any startup businesses. I assist them with that as well. He came to Kennedy Middle School. He spoke to me when I was in 7th grade. How I'm speaking to you guys today. So I don't know what grade you're in. I don't know what part of your life you're in, or even if you're an adult. But he came to me, he spoke to me. He said, like, anything you want to do, you can do. And that stuck with me through my whole life. And I still push that into my children as well. Anything you want to do, you can do. Don't let anything stop you to be determined to accomplish the goals that you set before yourself, okay? So this is the BC to the 3rd power. And the first thing is going to be budgeting. What is budgeting? Budgeting, it controls your money. Career. Career is discovered by your path, what you choose, not what someone else chooses for you. Credit is build your financial power. Consistency, do it over and over and over again. Okay. So budgeting. I have little quotes that I normally say. I just put them in here for you guys. And you can either write them down, you can take them with you, however. But one of them, for the first one for budgeting, budgeting is just makes a plan for your money. It's the first step to your financial freedom. So money in versus money out. And what does that mean? That means your revenue. Your revenue is any monies that you bring in, whether we're talking about chores, whether we're talking about your job, or whether we're talking about your allowance. Whatever you bring into and it's increasing, that is considered your money in. Now, when we're talking about money out, we're talking about your gas, your clothes, your entertainment, any subscriptions you may have, all of that is money out. Even if you decide that, hey, I want to go to the spa every week to get my nails done, just remember that's money out. So we should make sure that always that we spend less than what we earn. So if I am making $100 a week, I want to make sure that and I would say less, and I want to say you want to spend at least 20%, only 20% of what you make, you want that to be spent. So if I'm making only $100 a week, I should be only spending that small amount. That's it. And if we don't want to get to the 50%, I don't want to be spending 50% because I want to also have room to save if necessary, okay? All right. So the next part is going to be career. So your career should match your interest and knowing what pays to help your future plans. So the first thing you want to think about in this aspect is, what do you enjoy to do? What do you like to do? And I say that widespread because we may not know today what we like to do. I tell you, there's people, sometimes they get like 20 years into their careers and then they change it. They're like, oh, I don't even like doing this. I just started doing it. I don't even like it. So find something that you enjoy. I actually love numbers. Like, I love numbers. If I speak to anybody and they know me, they know one thing is that I've always talked about numbers, and I give examples of my grandfather owning a business. I give examples of my father saving money. I give examples of myself just being around inspirational people to help me lift myself up and understanding what it is that I enjoy. So another thing, ask yourself, are you artistic? So I say that because I have, like, my children, they're both good and they're both good in different aspects, but I honestly sometimes don't see them working for other people. I see them working for themselves, becoming an entrepreneur. And when you do that, you actually increase your own power. You may not start off with any money, but I can tell you can end up with millions, depending on your critique, even if it's just drawing. A picture is not defined by you thinking that, oh, it's just a picture. It's what someone else defines it as. Somebody can say, oh, that's worth this. Once they value it, it then pushes the value up, okay? And another thing is look into your job roles that fits your passion. So for example, if you want to be a doctor, what type of doctor do you want to be? Do you want to work with children? You want to be a pediatrician? Do you want to be at bedside? Do you want to be a nurse? Like, what do you want to do? What's your interest? Do you want to be a teacher? What type of teacher? You want to be an English teacher? You want to be a math teacher? What do you want to, like, what do you what does your inside tell you? This is exactly what I want to do. Okay, hold on, let's see if this comes back up. Okay, and there's areas that you can look to check your salaries. And I always say it's good to check your salary because if indeed, just say you want to be a teacher, but you think that you can your salary might be, I don't know, $40,000 or so, but you plan to live a different type of life, and you have it in your head. You want to actually look into, like, what do I need? Do I need a bachelor's? Do I need an associate's? Do I just need a high school diploma? And then also, what is the pay that people are getting paid at for entry level today? Do I need certifications? Do I need licensing? All of that stuff is important to know in advance. So I would say this, my daughter, she wants to be an anesthesiologist, right? And so if she's gonna be an anesthesiologist, I made her look into Indeed, and I said, hey, go to Indeed, see how much it's paying to be an anesthesiologist. Now I need you to also research what it is that job is gonna consist, what do you need to obtain? Like, what classes do you need to take? When you start in college, you wanna know that when you're in high school, when you're in middle school, you wanna know what classes to prepare for. Should I be more focused on my sciences? Because I need to get a high GPA in my sciences because I wanna be in the medical field. So those are just important things to gear you and then understand those licensing and how much time is this gonna take? Like, do I really wanna spend that much time in school? Yes or no? Like, some people are like, yeah, I'm all for it because I know when I'm done, I'm done. But there's people like, no, I only wanna spend 4 years and then wash my hands with it. So it's up to you. You don't even have to do that. You get associates and you can only do 2 years. You don't even have to do that. You can do a trade. You can do hair. There's so many beauticians that make lots of money. So I don't know why this is here, but I'm just gonna skip over this or try to. All right, next. So these are just some starting salaries that I gauged. So I said teaching is at 40, graphic designers between 45,000 to 55,000, software developer between 65,000 and 75,000, accountant between 70,000 to 80,000, entrepreneur between 0 to $1 million. And so plus, because entrepreneurship can continue to grow no matter what. That's like infinity. And so these are just some, like I said, there's areas where you can look. And also you want to be mindful of what society we live in today when you're thinking about your career. Because as we might know that there's like a lot of things moving to being more computerized, AI's big now. And so just paying attention to what market will continue to grow. And I know that may be like a tough question, but it's something that you might have to ask yourself, or just make sure you just keep an eye out onto what careers are merging to be more automated. So the next area is going to be credit. So good credit opens doors. Bad credit locks them. Choose your key wisely. So, and I would say just build it early. When I say by that, if you have parents and they have good credit, ask them if they could put you on as an authorized user on your card. Tell me you learned that today. But it's important because if their credit is good and they can bring up your credit score for you, they can start that now. Like now, you don't have to wait till you're 18, you don't have to wait till you're 21. You actually start that when you're, I think, 14. Most credit card people allow you to be added as a secondary on their card authorized user. You don't have to have the card or anything. You can never get the card, but just to have you on their credit is good. It just makes sure that only if it's their credit's good. As long as that card that they're paying, they're being responsible and doing the things that they need to do. If they're not, I wouldn't suggest it because it's just bringing your score down when you do get to that age. So credit, borrowing money, and paying it back, okay? So what does that essentially mean? That's building your financial reputation. And good credit is lower interest and more options. And what does that mean? That's basically you can get, sometimes they give you cash back. They can give you 1%, 2% cash back on gas. I know like a Discover card for students, they have like, they'll match you dollar for dollar for the first year. So for example, if that first year with them, you spend $500, when you get to your year mark, they'll send you a check for $500. So that's something that's incentivizes you to, oh, I can go buy this with that $500 because it's not yours anyways, right? Or you can save it. You don't have to always spend it. You can also save it. So just know that there's not always bad credit. Actually, some people live off of their credit. They don't live off of their paychecks. And they're like working smarter, not harder in that aspect, because they're using those cash backs to buy flights. Sometimes they get flights. Sometimes they get different bonuses from that credit card company, and they only use it for those things. So it builds them up and have a better relationship with them. Okay. And consistency. So success comes from what you do over and over, not once in a while. Consistency is basically the key to the C to the third power, okay? So first thing would be budgeting, tracking your spending, your weekly, monthly, career, keep learning and applying, credit, always pay on time, and repeat these habits daily, monthly, and weekly, monthly, and daily. Okay, and all right, so here's your formula to success. It's basically your budget plus your career plus your credit times consistency. And that's why I wanted to stress that consistency is the most important, because that can live in all three areas and any other area in your life. This formula works no matter your age, and you don't have to be perfect, just be consistent. And lastly, this is a financial challenge, and it's inside what you guys have today. I have this inside I think it should be the next page, possibly. And basically what it is just name one way that you can earn money, name one expense that you can manage better, and name one career that you're curious about, and then look up credit cards that offers cash back. And when you can earn money, so think about you can ask there's a couple ways, right? I don't know if you have cans, you can actually return your cans back to the store. It's 5 cents, but they add up, right? You can also ask your parents about different chores. You can also see if look up anything that's paid internships or anything like that you can be a part of and save. I didn't know, I just want to bring this, recap this in. I worked at Taco Bell for about 15 years, I think about 15, 16 years of my life. Probably the best job I've ever had, because I learned the most there. And you would think that's fast food. You would think, wow, she's saying that. I worked there even as a financial manager. And I'll say one of the key things is that when I first started, because no one talked to me about finances or banking, I actually used to keep all my checks, because my dad would say, save your money. So I used to keep all my checks in a drawer. And I remember going to, when I needed money, I would go to the check cashing place, on State Street where the liquor store is, and be like, can you cash this check? What do I need? And they'll be like, just show me your ID. So that's how I would get my money, because no one told me to get a bank account. And then all my checks were expired, so then Taco Bell had to reissue all my checks. So I actually saved up a lot of money over I think it was almost 4 years before I realized that. My mom was like, where's all your money going? And I was like, they're in the drawer. So I had just a stacks of checks in the drawer. I really had no idea. So I say that to say, just make sure, set up a bank account if you don't have one, savings account. You could go to the credit union, I believe. They have student accounts. Most banks have student accounts as well. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap up. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys learned something. So I would say always bring up the fire in you. What is FIRE is gonna be your financial independence, retire early plan. Okay, thank you.